Hey guys, Putzelman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm gonna do an idea that I thought was a very cool idea. Which I got from one of my commenters, AC9081, guy that comments on almost all my videos. He gave me this idea also like the other way around, as you can see. So shout out to him for the idea. Will probably come on this video as well. So thank you for the idea. And yeah, we're going to be ranking non-force users based on how strong they would be if they had the force. So we have Force Master, very adept, solid but needs more training, mid, weak, and barely force sensitive at all. Okay. There are some of these that I don't even remember. DEF16. Who the hell is that? Uh, what the heck is this thing? A human female death trooper? Uh, And so some NPC from Rebels, barely force sensitive at all. Um, I'm gonna say the same thing about the fucking Gamorrean guards. Like, these guys are fucking dumbasses. There is no way. By the way, I guess I should explain, since this is a very unique idea. I should go over what my criteria is gonna be. So my criteria for this mainly is i- if it's a character that has been around the Force and kind of knows what it is and how it works, and like knows the other characters that can use the Force, I think that for me personally, that ranks pretty high. Also, their intelligence level, because I think if you're a dumbass character, um or if you do not like, if you don't have, how do I put this, but like, um if I don't think that they could like comprehend the Force very well, then they're not going to rank very high. um and we do have droids on here, which is, um, for because I think this was originally made to be like a power scaling tier list and whatnot of like non-force user characters and stuff. So for the droids, we'll figure some. We'll get creative. We'll figure something out there. General Tarpals. Um, I don't think he would be force sensitive at all. Okay, okay. Now we get to our first really good one. I think Thrawn honestly would be like a force master, because he has been around the force. Um, he fights against Ezra and Kanan, who are Force users, and no doubt he has had some interaction with the Emperor and possibly Vader. So he knows Force users. He has interacted directly with them, but also the nature of Thrawn is that he is a absolute genius. So he loves getting into the details and really studying something in a lot of depth. And like really analyzing it. And I think that he would be able to use this knowledge and abilities to be able to really understand a lot of the intricacies of the Force. Also, Thrawn is an extremely adept combatant, and I think that would honestly translate very, very well into him being able to use a lightsaber super well. I think Thrawn is honestly probably going to be the highest ranking character in this entire list. Um, I think that if he was like a Sith Lord, he would be a fucking monster. Um, okay. All right. Next we have Grand Moff Tarkin. Now this is interesting because he is a very intelligent character, but he's also kind of like um he doesn't really fight that much, but I think he would be decent at it. I'm gonna say solid, but needs more training. Okay. Now we have Gregor. Gregor specifically is very interesting to me. Um, because he isn't one of the clones that had like profound force exposure to being around the Jedi. So, um, this is tricky. For do we have other clones on this list? Uh, yeah, a few other clones. Yeah, okay, quite a few other clones, it looks like. Okay, so those will be better metrics to base this off of. Gregor specifically, because he was isolated for such a long time, I think it would be mid. What is this? J3 died. A unique droid who had been programmed to believe that he possessed the Force and was a Jedi Knight, and he wields a lightsaber. Huh. That is. I mean, I think off the bat, I'm not thinking like Force Master type tier because it is a droid, but I'm thinking very adept based on that, to be honest. Jar Jar Binks is way too fucking stupid to be able to use the Force. Jabo Hood, like, maybe could have something, but he's gonna be weak. Um, Same thing with Kersantin. Um, a Borg is not gonna have any ability in the Force. Okay, Maz Kanata is actually interesting because, um, even though I think she's an incredibly stupid character across all of the sequels, for this list, she will actually rank pretty highly, and it's worth some discussion because she clearly knows a lot. She's been alive for a long time. Um, and she seems very like wise. So because we do have to consider like, there are different avenues of like Jedi that there could be. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be someone excelling in like lightsaber combat. Honestly, because of her wisdom and like how much she seems to know about the Force, I'm gonna say very adept. But that is the highest that you will ever see me rank Maz Kanata because I do not like her at all in any of the sequel movies. Uh Okay, next we have Ned. What the fuck is Ned? What is this? It's a masculine loader droid that uh operated migrant movement known as Hidden Path. Spindle. Okay. Okay, this thing was from the Obi-Wan show. Oh, that show's so shit. No wonder I forgot about it. Yeah, I know it smuggles Jedi, but like no. Actually, I'm gonna change. I'm just gonna change this to not force sensitive at all. Um, because I think that is a very valid ranking. Ochi is a weird one because like he has that Sith dagger, so he might have known something. I'm gonna say weak for him. Rose Tico, I don't think she would be force sensitive at all. Probably the same thing with Sabe. Juki is interesting because from what I remember in that Clone Wars episode, I'm pretty sure Obi-Wan. I could be completely making this up. I'm pretty sure that um Obi-Wan at one point during the episode, like or series of episodes, 'cause I think it was actually an arc, like 2 or 3 episodes maybe, where like he commented on Sugi's like force sensitivity. Again, I could be completely off with that, but because of what's going in my memory, I'm gonna say mid. Ursa Ren, I'm gonna also say mid because Sabine was actually proven to be force sensitive. We'll get to her in a little bit. But we see that Sabine is actually force sensitive. So I think that Ursa, even if she never used any abilities, that she would have been at least somewhat decent in it. Who is Vel Sartha? There's a lot of these characters I do not remember. Uh, okay. So this was the head of the rebels on Albani from Andor. Weak, like, just seems like an average human to me. Okay, a Zillo Beast. This is very interesting because a Zillo Beast is an extremely powerful creature, and its skin can't even be harmed by lightsabers. So, there is record in Star Wars plenty of creatures that are force sensitive and able to use the force um to some degree in order like as part of their livelihood. So because of that, and because it is such a tough creature that I think is very ancient and um yeah, I think it will be solid. Um a lot of this is really just based on my own intuition to be completely okay. Sorry about that. I was responding to a Discord DM. Next we have Bob Vance. I think he would be pretty weak, honestly. Same thing with Brief Karga. I don't think either of them um would be that strong. Okay, now Moff Gideon. This is interesting. I think Moff Gideon would honestly be very adept, bordering on Force Master tier, but I don't think it's quite that far. I would put him at like the top of this tier though, because he is an extremely skilled fighter. Um, and he uses the dark saber, which is not an easy weapon to use, especially if you're not force sensitive. Um, and he's also extremely intelligent, like Thrawn is. So I think he would be very high. Um, I feel like Cara Dune would be one of those cases where he kind of shows some potential, but then ends up giving up. So I'm gonna say solid for her. This Twi'lek, no. Who the fuck is 9-0? Droid. What is this thing? What? Oh no. Uh, um, okay. Mings Mayfield, honestly, I don't think he would be force sensitive at all. Neither would this guy, to be honest. Okay. Zeb is a fun one. I actually think Zeb would have some solid potential because his race, which I'm forgetting the name of, um, it's bugging me. What is it? Uh, called Lasat. That's it. Okay, so Lasat, his species is one of the ones that was like it had a lot of lore and history to it, and like the whole of the Lasat was like, if I remember correctly, it was something like either in wild space or the unknown regions or something like super far out, like kind of more mythical part of the galaxy in terms of how it's shrouded in mystery. Um, he's also an extremely good fighter, and he's been around characters that have the Force. But I would not put him on the same level as these because of the intelligence factor. I'm gonna say the same thing for Hera because I can think of few other non-force using characters that would better encompass the ideals of the Jedi than Hera would. Maybe minus the no attachments part, but um uh and yeah, like I said, a lot of this is just going off like vibes, to be honest. Um, Sabine is the very definition of solid but needs more training because we literally saw that in the Ahsoka show, and that's why I think her mother would also be mid. So, there we go. That was an easy one. Satine, um, I'm gonna give her benefit of the doubt and just say like Bleach because of the fact that she was around uh fucking Obi-Wan a lot. Um okay, Bo-Katan. Um I think she ends up using the dark saber, but I don't know because I didn't finish Man of Season 3 because it was trash. Um, I'm gonna say she's mid. Okay. Pre Vizsla. I think Pre Vizsla would be very adept because he's extremely intelligent. He's used the dark saber a lot. And also the Vizsla name is it has a lineage of a Jedi, and that's where the dark saber comes from. If you didn't know that, I'm pretty sure the name is Tar Vizsla, who's like an ancestor to Pre Vizsla. And that's how the dark saber got passed down. So I think that he would be a very good force user. Captain Rex, this is such an interesting one. This would be such a cool thing if it actually happened. I think Captain Rex would be very adept. Because he is extremely good with like tactics and information. Um, he would be a guy that I think would be always wanting to learn. Um, and he's been around a lot of force using people. So, um, I think he would be actually very good at it. Um, Cody, I think it would be kind of mid because he was around Obi-Wan a lot, but I don't think he has the same kind of empathy qualities that Rex does. Um, Quain, I would say solid for a lot of the same reasons as Rex, but more for the fact he doesn't necessarily actively fight. And I would put fives right beside Rex for a lot of the same reasons, honestly, but admittedly a little bit less. Okay, Padme. Hmm. I would say Padme is like solid but needs more training. Yeah, yeah. I would go with that. I would go with that. Um, R2D2. Uh, hmm. Oh, come on. Man, I'm not getting creative with this shit. The droids are not forces. Okay. Shmi Skywalker is kind of interesting. I actually think Shmi Skywalker would be mid. And the only reason I say that is because, um, unless Shmi hooked up with like the most powerful Jedi ever that was never revealed, and that was Anakin's dad, then I don't see like any other reasonable conclusion as to how Anakin could have had so many midichlorians if Shmi wasn't at least a little bit force sensitive. So mid for me. Um Hunter. Hmm. Hmm. Uh, I would put him in. I think Hunter is the most has the most empathy of the Bad Batch, and I think he would embody those qualities the best. I think that he would be solid but needs more training. Uh Echo, I'm gonna say is mid. Wrecker, I think, is weak just because I don't think he has enough patience or steady mindedness to really excel in using the Force. But I think a lot of these clones do have at least some level of Force sensitivity. Like Tech, I think is mid. And Crosshair would probably say the same thing. Aura Singh, I think, is the definition of solid but needs more training because she used to be a Padawan, but then she quit the order and eventually became a bounty hunter. Zero the Hutt, easily not force sensitive at all. In fact, I think if Zero learned about something like this, his egotistical fat ass would try and just like hire some bounty hunter to um I don't know, try and hunt down all the force sensitive people because he was jealous. Okay. Uh let's do the armor first because I kind of want to talk about Boba and Django together. Um, I think the armor would be um yeah, I don't think like maybe a bit of something, but like not much. Okay. Boba Fett. This is hard. Hmm. Uh, hmm. Hmm. Okay. So both of them are very smart. They've that's bullshit. No. Boba Fett didn't fight against the Force user, but Django did. Django fought Obi-Wan on Kamino. I think Boba Fett is mid, and his dad, Django, is solid but needs more training. Um, Cad Bane, I think, would be incredibly weak with the Force. I just don't think it would be his thing. Jabba and C-3PO do not have it. That's just not happening. I honestly think Bail Organa would be kind of solid because I think that he's been around a lot of Force users and is like very aware of the Jedi in general. He's friends with Obi-Wan for heck's sake, along with Yoda. Um, and you know was super key in the Rebels and everything. So the thing with this is like the reason why he is not very adept is because I don't think he would be able to understand the depths of the Force as well as the people in the very adept here. Saul Guerrera, I'm gonna put right there for a lot of the same reasons, honestly, as Bill Organa. Although he didn't really know as many Jedi directly, so that's a little bit of a difference. Is that Bix? Is that the name I read there? It was Bix Khalid. Oh, okay. Andor, another Andor character. I'm gonna say weak for that one. Okay. So Jin Urso. Hmm. So this is tricky. She knows of the Force. She knows a fair bit about it. I'm gonna say mid. And the same for Cassian Andor. Uh, oh, good, sure it is on this list. Okay, I want to talk about them together. Fennec, honestly, I don't think she would be very strong in the Force. I'm gonna say weak for the Force. Um, uh, let's see. Denis Malbus. I think that he would be decent because of his relationship to Chirrut and the fact that he's very loyal, but he would definitely need more training for sure. Now Chirrut, on the other hand, very adept because he's he's one of those characters that I think really best represents like the ideals of the Jedi and such. Um, oh, okay, not as long as I thought. This is going to be a long video though. Um, yeah, I think like just the intensity to which he dedicates himself to the ways of the Force, despite the fact he doesn't actually have it. I think that if he did have the Force, then he would be very good at understanding its complexities, and he would be able to use it very well. Um, Krennic might have something, but I kind of doubt it. Chewbacca and Lando, I'm gonna go like mid because they have some exposure to Force users, but I don't think either of them would be able to comprehend the Force very well. Um, Kira, just because she works for Darth Maul does not mean that she would be very Force sensitive. I'm gonna say weak. Same thing with Tobias and Beckett. A droid does not have it. Solo, I think, would be like the same as Chewie and Lando, but he would just be like more latent potential. I'm gonna say like solid, but needs more training for him. Um, oh, oh boy. AC, you definitely predicted this in the comment here. Grievous S tier already. I wholeheartedly agree. I didn't actually think that we would get another Force Master in this video besides Thrawn, but like, I think the only thing that Grievous might struggle with a little bit is some parts of the complexities of the Force, but um like overall like just his sheer mastery of combat and the like pretty more than basic understanding that he was given because he was personally trained by Dooku. So I think he would be a force master, to be honest. I think he would be very very powerful. um like Void, no. Okay. Wheel, I think he might have something because he's very, very wise, and so I think that he could potentially understand some of the complexities of the Force. Uh, um, but obviously he's not a fighter in any aspect, so, uh, I cannot what that says. Um, oh no. I think this is like fucking. Uh, give up on that one. I don't know. A sand beast, no. A rancor, absolutely not. Not this guard. Is Paz Vizsla? I'm gonna say wheat for him. Uh, droid, no. Holdo, benefit of the doubt, I'll say weak on that one. I don't think Boss would have any force sensitivity. Okay, here's a good one right here. Din Djarin. Okay, I actually think Din Djarin would be a very adept force user because I think that he over the course of the show, he's around several Jedi. Um, he really understands, I think, the ideals of being a Jedi in particular. And he's very, very good at fighting. We see him use the dark saber, to defeat Moff Gideon, but otherwise he uses the spear and whatnot to like defeat um uh Morgan Elsbeth. So personally, I think he was a very, very strong force user, like extremely powerful. Um I think it would take him a lot of experience, but I think he would grow to be a very like good duelist. Um Captain Phasma. I think there would be some level. I'm gonna say solid, but needs more training for Phasma. Actually, mid. Um, Maru. No. Clone Captain Gray. Um, quite a few of these that I do not know that well. I'm gonna say wheat for all of these clone commanders, to be honest. I'll put Bly and Hauser, um, and probably Wolf as well. I'll put them up in mid. Oh, speaking of Morgan Elsbeth, I'll take a break from the clones real quick to do her. Um, Considering how she works under Thrawn, I don't think she'd be that bad. I'm gonna say solid, but needs more training because she's a very skilled fighter. Clone Commander Thorn. I'm gonna put him with the rest of them. Jesse. I would say mid with the other clones. Dogma weak. Uh, Kix very weak. Um, who the hell is Iden Versio? Oh, it's a Star Wars Battlefront exclusive character. Um, I don't know. I don't know either of them, so I'm just gonna assume probably not. Um, Embo. I'm gonna say Embo's mid because I think he might have something. Enfu's Nest, no, definitely not this thing. IG-11, I think it'd be fun to think about. I would say solid. Um, Bantha, absolutely not. Big Fortuna, absolutely not. There's two IG-11s, just put them both there. Why not? Um, Artillery Stormtrooper, no. Pelimoto, definitely not. Creel, that's a repeat. Guido, no. Haru, no. Well, Baru, we. That guy, absolutely not. Captain Panaka, no. Okay, and then the last interesting one to me anyway is this Freight Dragon here because I think this could honestly be another case like what was the other, like the Zillow Beast, where it knows some level of the force to be able to protect itself as part of its like evolutionary just role and such. I'm gonna elevate one more character to Force Master from amidst the very adepts here, and I think I'm gonna move up Moff Gideon. So yeah, I'm not gonna order the rest of these tiers. Just this is the order for the very top tier, I think. Um, Thrawn would no question. Out of the characters on this tier list, anyway, there might be one that isn't on here that I just didn't think of. But out of the characters on this tier list, I honestly think it probably a pretty strong case of overall Star Wars characters. Like I can't imagine there'd be many more that would be stronger than Thrawn, to be honest. But definitely the strongest out of this entire list, and one of the strongest of any Star Wars character in terms of this category, like non-Force users if they had the Force. Um, but yeah, pretty long video. um, Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, AC, once again for this really fun idea, and I will see you later. Bye bye.